Good morning, you guys. Good morning. Good morning. Ah! All right, so just real quick. I didn't make any content yesterday, which was my rest day. So we're going to make this video and then we're going to go in the gym and make the video for tomorrow. But I got to give y'all a video every day. Like, I owe it to you guys to give y'all a video every single day. And that's what I'm going to do. All right. So got up super early. We sit in the car before we work out because we about to get into it. Okay, so a lot of you guys, including myself, before I was successful this go around with my weight loss journey, a lot of times we believe the weight loss myths, right? And for those of y'all who are new to the channel, this might be your first video you guys watch. My name is Jasmine. I lost over 100 pounds naturally, meaning no weight loss surgery, no appetite suppressants, no no lipos, no nothing. Okay, what did I do? I changed what I ate. I've been vegan for 2 years, and I weight lift all the time. Okay, I weight lift about 6 to 7 days a week. Okay, so this is a little backstory about me, and it took me about 2.5 years to get to where I am right now. My heaviest weight was 340 pounds, and now I'm at about 240. So let's go ahead and get into this topic. Weight loss myths. Weight loss myths. All right, I wrote stuff down so we can stay on track and I can hopefully get to most of the myths that people talk about. Okay, so number one, all calories are equal. That is not true. That is not true at all. At the end of the day, yes, we want to be in a caloric deficit. So that means you want to eat fewer calories than what your body needs to survive so that you can lose weight, right? Now, the amount of calories that you need is dependent on a couple of things. It's dependent on your height, it's dependent on your age, it's dependent on your activity level. But fortunately, there are plenty of calculators out there that will ask you a series of questions. You plug in all the information, and then it will generate to you how many calories you need to be eating per day in order to lose 1 pound, 2 pounds, whatever. Just so you know, a little side note. Healthy weight loss is about a half a pound to 2 pounds a week. Okay. Anything over that, you're losing weight way too fast. So bring it on back. All right. So now we've gotten that out of the way. All right. You guys, I say this over and over and over and over again. Whole foods, not the grocery store, but whole foods, foods that you find in the produce section is going to be your best friend. Unprocessed foods, you guys. Unprocessed foods. Eat as much unprocessed foods as humanly possible. That is the guaranteed way to lose weight. Okay, so when you start getting into the aisles and you start to do the processed stuff like your chips, cookies, cakes, the frozen dinner meals, all that stuff is processed, okay? Which means you can't find a Dorito in a field, right? Like they made that. They created that through powders and dyes and just a whole bunch of unhealthy stuff. But you could, depending on where you live, you could find an apple in the field, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like you want to stick to unprocessed foods as much as possible. Why? Because you're going to have less fat, fewer calories, more nutritional value. It's all about fiber, you guys. So fiber, for those of y'all who don't know, that is what is going to keep you feeling fuller for longer. You got to think about it. If you're only allowed to eat 1,500 calories a day, strategically, it would make the most sense to eat foods that are going to make you feel full longer so that you're not always eating, right? Because when you're always eating, now you're consuming more calories, which means you're more likely to go over your caloric deficit. Okay, you don't want that. So in order to stay fuller longer, you need to eat foods with a lot of fiber. Fiber is going to be found in foods that are unprocessed. Okay, so back to all calories are created equal. No, they're not, because you got to think about it. You could eat a really good healthy meal full of crap ton of vegetables. You got your grains in there and some form of protein, right? I don't eat meat, but you might eat chicken, salmon, whatever, right? So you got this plate full of all these delicious foods, and that plate could consist of a total of 400 calories, right? Okay, that food, you probably gonna, if you have a whole bunch of vegetables on that plate, you could have a mountain of food right there for 400 calories. On the other side, you could eat like 2 servings of Dorito chips, 2 bags of Dorito chips, and eat 400 calories in like 20 seconds. You didn't get no fiber, you didn't get no protein, you didn't get no minerals in there. You got some saturated fat in there, which we're going to talk about a little later. Like, you got a whole bunch of stuff in there that's not even good for you. And you didn't get no fiber. So you still going to be hungry. You probably still going to be hungry after you eat those 2 bags of chips. Whereas the plate that had all of the healthy foods on it, you're going to be full for at least 3 hours. At least 3 hours, 3 to 4. So that's what I'm saying. That's what it means by all calories are created equal. That is not true. That is a weight loss myth. All right. Number 2. Ha! This is a good one. This is a good one. I hope y'all ready for this. Hold on. I got to roll one down. It's a little hot. All right. Carbs are bad for you. Do you know how people think that carbs are bad for you? It's okay, because I used to do that too. So it ain't even no shade. Ain't no judgment. This is a judgment-free zone, a judgment-free channel. All carbs are bad for you. That's the myth. That is so false. That is so false, and that is so false. You guys, I lost all of this weight by eating carbs. I eat carbs every day, okay? Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I eat like a whole bag of rice. No. But carbs are not bad for you. Carbs are your very first source of energy, you guys. You need carbs to survive. When people, see, that's the thing, like, people don't know what they're saying when they're saying it. Just like when people are like, oh, I want to lose weight. No, you don't want to lose weight. You want to lose fat. People always say, I want to lose weight. So the same applies with carbs. Okay, carbs are great for you. It's the type of carb that is not good for you. See, there's 2 types. You have your simple carbs and you have your complex carbs. All right, let's break them down. So your simple carbs, that's the junk food. That's everything in the aisles. See how we always go back to sticking to the produce section in the outskirts of the grocery store? See how it always ties back in? Because if you just do that, if you don't remember anything I say, but you remember to just stay on the outskirts of the grocery store, you're going to lose weight. You don't have to remember shit I'm talking about. But if you just remember to stay on the outside perimeter of the grocery store, you're going to be successful. But let's go ahead and get into it. Simple carbs. Those are the carbs that you don't want. That's the bullshit carbs. Those are the carbs that are not going to keep you full. Those are the carbs that are full of freaking calories, full of sugar, full of fat, full of everything that you don't want, okay? So, your donuts, your cakes, your cookies, your ice cream, your cereals. Yes, girl, man, your cereals. Stop eating that shit. The cereals like the Frosted Flakes, the Honeycombs, the Fruity Pebbles, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. No. Okay, so those are the simple carbs. Those are the carbs that are not good for you. Now we have another set of carbs. Your complex carbs. These are the carbs that are wonderful for your body. The produce section. Okay, your potatoes, your sweet potatoes. Now I prefer sweet potatoes over regular potatoes anyways, because sweet potatoes just have more nutritional value than a russet potato. A russet potato has nothing for you. But that's neither here nor there. It's still going to be a lot better for you than a fucking donut. Okay? So, let's just keep going. Your fruits. Okay? People always talk about how fruits are bad for you. Fruits are not bad for you, guys. Fruits are so good for you. If they're in the produce section, we're not talking about the fruits in the cans, the little Dole fruit cups. No. It's in the aisle. We said the outskirts. Okay? So your fruits, your potatoes, okay, now we're gonna get into the aisles a little bit here. We're gonna get in the aisles a little bit. Your rice. So I personally prefer quinoa, but even if you do white rice, whatever. Your brown rice, whatever. Your grains, okay? Grains are good for you, all right? Now, bread. Okay, now I still ate bread on my weight loss journey. It depends. At the end of the day, bread is bread. It's still somewhat processed, right? You're not going to go find a loaf of bread out in the field somewhere. But, at the end of the day, it really boils down to your overall goals other than just weight loss. Maybe if you're a diabetic, or pre-diabetic, whatever, for type 2 diabetes, you may want to stay away from certain things that are going to spike your blood sugar, right? But at the end of the day, I still ate bread and lost 100 plus pounds. The biggest thing here, you guys, is carbs are not bad for you. It's the type of carbs that you're eating. So stop with the snacks and the junk food, okay? Let's get into number 3. Myth number 3. Skipping meals helps you lose weight. Yeah, it's going to help you lose weight. It's going to help you lose weight. But this is where we're going back to what people truly mean when they say they want to lose weight. You want to lose fat, okay? Let's put it like this. If you were to get on a scale, let's say, I don't know, let's just talk about me. I'm 6'3", you guys. So I'm a very, very, very tall girl, okay? So let's say at my heaviest, I was 340 pounds and I was pretty big. I had lots of stuff you could grab, right? Lots of rolls, all the things. But let's look at it like this. Let's say 340 pounds didn't involve a whole bunch of fat. Maybe 340 pounds was just considered quote unquote healthy weight for someone my height. I wouldn't have a problem with that. I only have a problem with the 340 pound number on the scale because it is associated with a lot of fat, right? I'm a big girl. I have rolls. I have, a big stomach. I have really big thighs. It's hard for me to breathe. It's all these problems that are associated with the fact of being 340 pounds. Now, let's go back to the myth. Skipping meals helps you lose weight. Yeah, you're going to lose weight, but you're also going to lose muscle. All right. So the reason why I look like I didn't lose 100 plus pounds is because I maintained and grew muscles. I weightlift, okay? I do weightlifting, heavy weightlifting, not no light 5-pound stuff. I am pushing myself. I am developing muscle, okay? That's what you want. You don't have to be a muscular, bulky chick in order to have good muscle mass, all right? If you're skipping meals, you are already losing the little bit of muscle that you have because, let's face it, if you're overweight, you're probably not really lifting weights in the first place. So you don't even have that much muscle to begin with. Then you're skipping meals. Now your body is going into survival mode. Now it's going to eat the muscle that it has because you're not feeding yourself with food. So now you're going to lose weight, but you're also going to have that, what's that look? It's like, you ever seen someone who was sick, and they were sick because they're sick. So they can't help it. You're going to look like that because now your body has gone into its muscle source as a way to function because you're skipping meals. You don't want that. And on top, you're going to be even more brittle. You're going to be even more frail. Okay. So now you're going to be prone to bone problems and osteoporosis and just all those things that are associated with not having a good amount of muscle tissue. That's why skipping meals is not smart. Yeah, the number on the scale is going to go down, but then over time, eventually it's going to stop going down because now your body is going to be holding on to shit because it doesn't know when you're going to feed it again. You don't want that. You don't want to look like, I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, I know you've probably seen someone who's lost a lot of weight and like you can tell that they used to be really big and they lost a lot of weight versus someone who was really big, but you wouldn't even know they were really big because they did it the healthy way and they lost weight the healthy way. So you would be shocked. If someone told you they lost 100 plus pounds, you'd be like, what, really? Because they did it the healthy way versus someone who lost 100 plus pounds and you're like, I could tell you was probably a really big person because they did it the quick way. You get what I'm saying? Like, I know you know somebody, maybe like from high school or college or something, where you know what I'm talking about. Like, I don't really know how to describe it, but that's the best thing I could say. Like, stop skipping meals. Like, that's not helping you. That's not. You're going to lose weight, but you're not going to lose fat. So, don't do it. Myth number 4. This is a really good one. Fat makes you fat. Fat makes you fat. All right, let's bring it back to the grocery store. Remember when I said every couple of minutes about being on the outskirts of the grocery store? That's because that's where you need to be. So healthy fats versus bad fats. So the healthy fats are your unsaturated fats and the bad fats are your saturated fats. So let's go ahead and break this down. The saturated fat is the fat that I just said is bad for you. That's the fat that's clogging your arteries, and it's going to make you more prone to having heart problems. Okay, it's because it's developing plaque on your arteries, and so it's making it more difficult for blood to push through. Okay, so what? How do you find saturated fat? In the aisles of the grocery store, in the processed food section. So things in your cans, the frozen dinners and stuff, the junk food that we've been talking about, the stuff in the aisle. That's where you're going to find that saturated fat. And that is what's making you fat. Because it's also high in calories, it's high in sugar, it's high in salt, it's high in a whole bunch of bullshit. Okay? Now, your unsaturated fats, the fats that are really, really good for your body. So, on the outskirts of the grocery store, see how we just keep, that's why I said, you don't remember anything else I say, just remember to stay on the outskirts of the grocery store. Just do that and you're going to be safe. Like, you're going to be safe from all the bullshit, all right? So your unsaturated fats, these are your healthy fats. So your avocados, your chia seeds, or any type of seed. So if you're a meat eater, your salmon, right? I'm trying to think, where else can you find? Your nuts. So like walnuts, cashews, pecans. All of those things are good for you. Now, yes, some of those things you still have to monitor. Like, don't sit there and eat a whole bag of walnuts. Like, I'm not telling you to do that. You still have to measure stuff out because some stuff is still healthy for you, but we're back into the calorie thing. And you may be eating too many calories. So nuts are very high in calories. Actually, my trainer was telling me you really only need 1/8 of a cup for a healthy amount of nuts for the day. But I think a serving of nuts is 1/4 cup. So that's too much because if you have 1/4 cup of walnuts, that's about 200 calories. And it's really not that many walnuts because walnuts are a very big nut. That's not that many walnuts. And right there, you're still going to get like 15 grams of fat, somewhere up in there. So you don't need all that. You don't need all that. And the reason why people may be gaining weight by eating stuff like that is because they're eating too much. Like they'll eat the whole bag of cashews or they'll eat the whole bag of almonds, which is well over 1,000 calories. So don't do that. Still measure it out. But as far as fat is concerned, not all fat is bad fat. So get that out of your head. That's not true. Continue to measure out your portions. Continue to track your calories. I was using MyFitnessPal. As you keep using it, you start to know how many calories you're eating for the day because you're just used to, because 9 times out of 10 you're probably gonna end up eating the same stuff most weeks, right? So as you keep doing it, you're gonna start to take mental notes like, okay, you start to know like how many calories a day you're consuming. But when you're first starting, for the first few months or so, use MyFitnessPal or a calorie tracker so that you can make sure you're not eating more than the calories that you need. Okay, all right. Myth number 5. Myth number 5, we will get into this. You can spot reduce fat. No, you can't. No, you can't. That is a myth. You cannot spot reduce fat. We all store fat differently. That is just your genetics, how you were raised. Most of the time, you have the same shape as like your mom or your dad if you're a man, or like most people in your family. They may, most of the time, not always, most of the time you kind of like, y'all all shape the same, right? There's genetics. That goes back to genetics. But you cannot spot reduce fat. So most of the time, when you start losing weight, you're going to lose weight first in your face and in your neck area, right? The first few pounds. Then you're going to start to lose it in your shoulders and your back. Then if you're a woman, you're going to start losing it in your stomach and your thighs. Well, your stomach's, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, your stomach is last. Your stomach is the very last place because it doesn't take that much energy for your body to store your weight there. Men tend to lose weight in their thighs and then their stomach. Women tend to lose weight more in their stomach first and then their thighs. I don't know why, but this is why I researched. But either way, most of the time, the stomach is the very last spot you're going to lose weight. But you can't spot reduce fat, meaning you can't do 1,000 crunches and think you're going to lose your stomach. Girl, dude, that's not how that goes. If you want to lose your stomach, it's all about what you eat. You cannot spot reduce nothing. So when people are on Instagram talking about do these exercises to get rid of your arm fat, that's not how that works. The only way you're going to get rid of fat is through what you eat. Calories in versus calories out. That's it. All right. So the more fat you lose, Your body is going to take it from different places first based off of genetics. So I'm bottom heavy, right? So it makes the most sense that my upper half, I was always bottom heavy. Even when I was 340 pounds, my bottom half was still bigger than my top half. I was still big up top too, but I'm saying like I carried more weight in my bottom half than my top half. So it makes sense that now that I'm 100 pounds down, my top half is still more toned up than my bottom half, because my bottom half just taking longer because it had more fat there. I can't do a million squats and that's going to get rid of all the fat on my thighs. That's not how that works, y'all. Like, that's not how that works at all. You can't spot reduce fat. Now, you can spot gain muscle. You can do that. But if you still have a whole bunch of fat there, you're not going to be able to see the muscle anyway. So you still have to lose fat. All right. So when you see people, like, I know girls are infamous for this. Like, a lot of times when you see girls working out, they only want to work out their legs and their butt. You gotta weight lift your whole body. Like, a lot of girls like avoid lifting or doing stuff with their chest because they feel like it's gonna make them look manly. I do chest every 3 days, and I don't look like no damn man. You're not gonna look like a man. We don't have enough testosterone to even develop muscle like men. Like, a woman could do the same back exercises as a man, but her back is not gonna look like a man's back. Like, y'all praise me on how toned up my back look. My traps and rhomboids and all that stuff is nothing like that of a man's. Like, it's not finna happen. So stop thinking that. Lift all body parts. Lift all muscle groups, excuse me. And stop thinking that you can spot reduce fat. You cannot do 1,000 crunches to lose your stomach. If you want to lose your stomach, you got to eat right. And you got to eat right for a really long time if you was extremely overweight like I was. I'm still working on my stomach, okay? So the only way to do it is caloric deficit. That's it. But stop thinking that you can spot reduce fat, because you cannot. All right. Eating late at night causes weight gain. That is not true. That is not true. Now, we can, people are going to have their theories like, you need to be fasted or whatever. It doesn't matter. You're fasting when you're asleep. Like, I don't think people realize that. Fasting is just a period of time where you're not eating. So your body has to basically use what you've eaten throughout the day and then tap into the stored sources, right? But when you're asleep, you are fasting. So if you're getting 8 hours of sleep, you are fasting. You fasted for 8 hours because you're not eating because you're asleep. People keep, like, I'm not sitting here saying I'm a doctor. I'm not sitting here saying that, certain things may not be beneficial. I know for myself, when I fast for 16 hours, I was tapping into my fat source. But at the end of the day, like, it doesn't really matter when you eat. Like, you could be someone who works overnight. So your day may start at 7 o'clock at night, where someone like me who sleep overnight, my day is ending at 7 o'clock at night. You get what I'm saying? But it doesn't matter what time of the day you eat. Calories in is calories in. So, like I said, like, if you're a night owl, so maybe you're up from 7 to 10 o'clock in the morning, okay, your day is just reversed than mine. But that doesn't mean you're going to gain weight because you eat overnight but you sleep during the day, and I'm vice versa. You get what I'm saying? Like, none of that matters. It's really just calories in versus calories out. Like, that's it. Okay. Detoxes and cleanses help with weight loss. You guys, do you plan on detoxing for the rest of your life? Like, I need you to ask yourself these questions. We are on a wellness journey. We don't want to keep being on weight loss journeys until the day we die, you guys. At some point, you want to get to a point where you are just maintaining, where you are happy with where you're at and you just want to maintain it. Or maybe, you might want to build some muscle or whatever. But as far as fat loss is concerned, like, you are happy with your body fat percentage. So therefore, in order to reach that point, you have to develop healthy habits so that you can carry those habits with you until the day you die. You doing these detoxes and doing these cleanses, that's all cool for 2 weeks. But girl, let's be real. You know damn well you're not going to be on a cleanse from now until forever. Like, you're not. Like, stop it. At some point, you're going to want some food. So stop using these cleanses as a way to lose weight, and then you're going to gain it back once you stop cleansing. Like, it makes no sense. Like, sometimes I really need us to just think about what we're doing and what we're saying. Because if you really just sit there and think about it, you know that what I'm saying is true. So instead of doing these detoxes every 6 months because you put on 20 pounds or whatever, let's just develop healthy eating habits, like staying on the perimeter of the grocery store, so that you don't have to be doing these cleansing, these detoxes. I don't do no damn cleanse. I don't do no damn detox. Girl, if your kidneys are working how they're supposed to, meaning you don't have type 2 diabetes, meaning you don't have any type of kidney disease, your body is cleansing. It's cleansing, okay? It is cleansing. That is what your kidneys are for, to cleanse your system, all right? So like I said, you have an issue that's different. But for most of us, most people don't have those issues. So then therefore, you don't need to do an additional cleanse. And if you're eating your fiber like you're supposed to, you're going to poo more than once a day. The reason why a lot of people are constipated, the reason why a lot of people aren't having bowel movements every day is because they are not eating enough fiber. You should be pooing 2 to 3 times a day. Hate to break it to you. So if you're not, it's because you're not eating enough produce. You're eating a whole bunch of junk. You guys, I haven't pooed this much since before I was vegan. Like, and I still was pooing every day before I was vegan, but I'm telling you, now I poo 3 times a day. It is not no long, drawn out, like trying to push. No, it's real quick, wipe, and proceed with life. Like, it's not all that extra shit, okay? So I'm telling you, the outskirts of the grocery store. If you don't remember anything else I said, this is about the 5th time I said it. If you don't remember anything else that we talking about in this video, just remember to stay on the outskirts of the grocery store. And one last thing I can tell you when it comes to the food, I forgot to mention this: cans versus frozen fruit. All right, and versus fresh fruit. So fresh and frozen. Anything in the can, don't fuck with it. Do not fuck with it. The only thing that I fuck with that's in the can are the beans. So like my chickpeas, my black beans, but everything else, I do not fuck with it, like, at all. Don't fuck with it. Period. Like, don't. Now, me personally, I do get vegetable broth, so that's in the aisles. I do get oatmeal, that's healthy for you, that's in the cereal aisle. I make my own granola now. Let me think, what else? Spaghetti sauce, okay, that's in the aisles. Pasta, I do red lentil noodles, so I'm getting more protein there versus the regular traditional noodles. I do consume rice from time to time. Most of the time it's quinoa, so that's in the aisles. And then frozen fruit I do for my smoothies, so blueberries, strawberries, mangoes. I even saw they have frozen bananas, and I might start venturing into that because sometimes the bananas rot before I'm ready for them. So, but you guys, most of my grocery cart is in the produce section. All right. Next myth: supplements and weight loss pills are effective. No, they're not. Why do you want to be on a pill for the rest of your life? Let's go back to what I said about the detoxes and the cleanses. Let's focus on creating these healthy habits so that these healthy habits we can carry with us for the rest of our life. Because there's going to be a point where you might go on a vacation, or you might go do whatever, or life just be lifing, and you might overindulge in some foods. But because you have these healthy habits, that overindulgence is not going to last for so long. And you're going to go right back to your healthy eating because you're going to know that that's what makes you feel better during the day. You are more productive during the day. You have more energy during the day. You have adapted to how great you feel because you eat healthy, that when you do have a week or two where you eat like shit, you are craving going back to eating healthy because you know how great your body feels when you do. Like, that happens to me all of the time. I am not sitting here saying I am a perfect nutrition angel. I am not. But what I know is whenever I do have a couple of days where I eat like shit, I'm like, Jazz, I gotta go back. You gotta go back to eating healthy because the body already feels the difference, and we don't like it here. We like it better when we're eating healthy. So go back to that. So me eating a whole bunch of junk food for weeks and weeks and weeks, that doesn't exist because I hate the way my body feels when I eat like that. I love the way my body feels when I eat healthy. Okay, so back to supplement pills and weight loss pills. You guys, it's not just about weight loss. It's about how you feel. It's overall, you guys. And at the end of the day, if you just listen to what I say about staying on the perimeter of the grocery store and you do that for a month or two, you are going to feel the differences and you're not going to want to go back to eating like shit because it makes you feel like shit. Your joints hurt, you tired, you are irritated, you're sleepy, you're drained because you're not giving your body the foods that make you feel good. Versus when you eat healthy, you feel amazing. Even if you don't work out, your body still feels amazing because you're fueling it with great sources of energy. All right, so stop fucking with the pills. And then last but not least, exercise alone is enough to lose weight. I wish, but that's not true. And 9 times out of 10, if you don't lock in on your nutrition, but you still work out, I know because this has happened to me on my weight loss journey, you will still gain weight because even though you burned 900 calories, you're subconsciously going to think, oh, well, that means I have 900 calories that I can eat. And then you're going to eat more than that, and now you're in a surplus. And you don't want that. In order to lose fat, that's why I said it's all about, when we're talking about spot fat reduction, none, that doesn't exist. The only way to lose true fat is through nutrition. Exercise speeds it up. Exercise gives you that muscle mass that we was talking about, building muscle, because at the end of the day, you do want to raise your basal metabolic rate. That's how many calories your body burns at rest. When you have barely any muscle mass, like we were talking about, like when you're first starting your journey, your body's not burning that many calories at rest. It's burning a lot, but it's not burning as much as it could if you have more muscle mass. So that's why it's just really important to still exercise and weight lift, yes, but that's not what's going to help you lose weight. Well, it's going to help. That's not what is the main cause of you losing weight. The main cause of you losing weight is what you eat, not what you do in the gym. What you do in the gym just speeds up the process, okay? But even that is to a certain extent. It's 90% nutrition, 10% exercise. So that's why people can still lose weight and not exercise at all. But you're not going to see people lose weight who exercise but don't eat right. Like, that doesn't happen. So you have to eat right. Like, you have to. There's no way around it, okay? I hope these Mythbusters helped. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I drank my pre-workout. I got tinkle. And I will see y'all in the next video, which is still today, because we're going to hit glutes. All right? Bye, y'all.